Hello, everyone. Welcome to another scene for Living World of Darkness, Rage Across New York, Werewolf Venue. Scene: Saoirse is awake uh, in the Seeker's cabin. She's white. She'll pack link Alana. Alana,
Ira,
where are you at?
my apartment.
Are you up for a visitor?
Depends on who. You're not a visitor.
I.
Visitors are people that don't aren't part of the pack, who don't live here.
Right.
Or is that your way of saying you're leaving?
Nay.
Alright then. Then you're not a visitor, and you're welcome anytime you wish.
I was just asking if you're up for company.
I've been sitting in the apartment alone for since you left yesterday.
I. I'll be there in a little bit.
Alright.
She'll she'll get out of bed. She'll let 10 know that she's leaving, and she doesn't need her to come with her this time. She'll be back soon. And she'll leave the Seeker's cabin and step sideways and head to Alana's apartment. She'll reappear right inside the door.
She'll see Alana sitting on the little futon mattress that she has on the floor in the living room. Legs crossed, a skull in her hands. She's topless. She's got woad paint on herself, and she's painting woad onto this skull.
Her voice is barely a whisper, or barely above a whisper. Alana?
Men, get comfortable.
She'll nod and she'll go sit down next to her.
And she'll put it. Is she sitting on her left or right side?
I'll go with her right.
And so she'll put her arm around you and kind of pull you in and give you a hug with her right arm. Doing well not to smear you with the paint on her thumb.
She'll lean in to her, their hug, and sorry I left you alone.
Right? It was a hard thing for you to experience and go through.
It happened while I was getting ready to go on the hunt for Aiden's father's killer. I had to keep going, so I went, and I couldn't after. I could barely even walk after. They just they took me and carried me back, and I didn't have it in me to leave. They just took care of me and let me stay. They they did the rite of hospitality, so I have to stay the night there the next 2 nights.
She nods.
But I'll be back after that. Um, I need you to. I need you to come downstairs with me, please.
Do you need clothes?
She nods. I can't go in there alone.
I can go get some for you. You don't have to. You can stay here if you wish.
I'd rather not be alone.
Alright, and she'll set down the skull. It has a very almost ceramic sound when she sets it down.
With Saoirse's acute hearing, she can definitely hear the sound of it being set down. What is that?
It's part of a memorial I'm making. And she gestures over to a corner that's usually been empty in the apartment because she just didn't have anything to put there. And there's a small table, has 4 candles on it, and there's a picture, one of those the digital picture frame that she'd gotten from Teresa that currently has Teresa's face on it. And if she looks at the skull, she'll see Teresa's deed name carved into it.
She'll nod. Perhaps I can add something to that when I'm ready.
All right. I never expected to outlive any of my pack mates, so this is a reminder to me to keep fighting harder and harder, not giving up, because I know those who died before me in my pack wouldn't have given up.
I'm not giving up, just so you know.
Glad to hear that. And she'll go and wash the paint off her thumb and pull a jacket on so that she's not flashing the world. It is.
Alana will notice that Saoirse is dressed in not her clothes. Um,
Come on, let's go get you some clothes to take with you.
she'll nod and follow after Alana. When they get to the door of the apartment that Saoirse lived in with Teresa and Kumba, and Alana too, she hesitates.
All right, lass. You're not alone.
Gonna gonna open that door. She's not gonna be there.
Nay, she's not, but you're not alone.
She'll rest her hand on the door and she'll take a deep breath. And she'll push it open.
And the apartment is about as perfectly clean as ever, if not more so. Doesn't even look like Kumba's been through in the last 2 days.
She slowly walks in and looks around. She'd be proud. She looks over to where Teresa's room is and just kind of stares at it.
Alright, what clothes do you want? Anything in particular, or just...
She'll She's gonna slowly walk into Teresa's room. She's gonna get in the closet. She's gonna take one of Teresa's t-shirts. She's gonna put it on. Um, just like another pair of pants and a couple of shirts should be fine.
And she'll go about gathering those for Saoirse.
Saoirse sits down on Teresa's bed. She just looks around, sees her laptop, and smiles at the memories laying in that bed and watching YouTube all night. And she picks up one of Teresa's pillows, puts it to her nose, inhales. Smells like her. She just buries her face in that pillow. And she sobs.
Alana sits down beside her and kind of puts her arms around her and just lets her cry.
Saoirse cries until she can't anymore.
Normally, this would be the point where you step up as alpha, but I'm not sure you're ready for that emotionally. If you wish, I'll stand in and keep the pack running until you're ready.
If I take over right now as alpha, that means that she really is gone.
Whether you take over now or in 60 years, she'll still be gone.
I can't ever see her again. Ever. She doesn't. Her spirit.
Close your eyes for a moment.
She closes them.
Take a deep breath, very calmly if you can. And Alana's going to start slowly playing memories of Saoirse and Teresa being very happy together through the pack link. Ones that Alana had seen, little glances between the two of them that they thought nobody noticed. As many happy memories as she can.
Saoirse thought she didn't have any more tears left, but fresh tears flow with the flooding of these memories. And she takes them in. Alana can see her facial expressions change. She will smile and laugh at some of them, and even blush at some of them.
She's
They're
then gonna
so
play some of the ones where Teresa just does something crazy silly that they would laugh at afterwards. Like when she scrubbed a hole in the wall and Alana had to go through and then patch the wall, reprime it, repaint it, the whole wall for that one little spot.
maybe at least while I'm gone, spending the next 2 nights with the Seekers. Um, as alpha of this pack, I name you my beta, and I put you in charge until I am ready.
All right, lass.
And then she just falls into Alana's arms.
She will hold her, stroke her hair softly. She's got a lot of these motherly qualities about her.
Best she does. And Saoirse will just cry and heave.
And anytime she starts heaving really badly for negative emotional reasons, Alana will push in more happy memories, happy thoughts of the two of them together to try and help bring her from going too low.
I love you, Alana.
Alana kind of blinks a few times, surprised to hear those words from Muhammad.
You're my sister, my packmate. You do so much for me that sometimes I feel I don't even deserve.
Your Hamid, I do what is necessary of me as a metis. Mule's duty is to serve.
My mother would probably frown upon me naming you as Beta, but honestly, I think she'd rather have me name you as Beta than a Bonar.
I think the only reason she'd choose the Bonar over me is that the Bonar is Homid. But that's only like giving them a small edge up on me because they are Bonar.
Saoirse will shake her head. You saw how Ma acted towards Teresa. She put you above a glasswalker, a Homid glasswalker.
And that honestly was a bit surprising to me. I was shocked. But it was not my place to argue or to say anything.
Could also have to do with the fact that you are actually her family.
No, she just took me in as a philodox to make sure that I learned the laws and the rules proper like.
She shakes her head. It's more than that.
Confused look.
You're her niece. Her brother is her father. My uncle.
She straightens up.
So you're my cousin, Alana.
But then. And Alana looks puzzled, like confused, like her whole world has shifted and she doesn't know how to adjust.
I wanted to let you know that I choose you as my family because you've been there for me, not because you're my actual family, even though you are my actual family. And I found this out right before I left, and I've been waiting for a time to tell you. Teresa knew. I told her.
So you're saying I basically French kissed my cousin?
I.
Oh, now I feel dirty. Thought I was just saving a park mate, not making out with my cousin.
That's different. I was dying.
You weren't close to dead yet. You just lost the air to keep swimming.
I. You still saved my life. Doesn't matter if we're actual family or not.
I suppose. If nothing else, we're pack mates, bound by spirit,
I.
not just by blood.
I'm not. I know that you probably think that I'm just gonna go and run off with the Seekers.
The thought had entered my mind.
As much as I love Aiden and I care about 10 points on me, I couldn't abandon you.
She's got her head cocked, looking at you like, what the kind of has gotten into you? Look,
And Banshee even wrapped her arms around me last night, called me her family. I know I'd be welcome there, but you wouldn't be. And I can't leave you. I can't leave you on your own. I won't.
if that's where you feel you belong, go, lass. I'll make it on my own. I'll find another pack. There's plenty of packs out there. Maybe I'll just take up a position. Be the new keeper of the land. We are missing one.
Aye, we are. If you'd like to do that, I fully support you.
Or maybe I can talk the right master into taking that position and I'll become the right master. That's a right grand idea, don't you think?
You have to stay on sept, which means giving up the apartment.
Oh, aye, but it means I get to live in a castle. Who doesn't want to live in a castle? It's like every girl's like little wet dream fantasy as a child. At least I'm told so. Honestly, my dream girl fantasy was sitting at a table having dinner with family and not having to go back down and eat whatever scraps were left afterwards in a cement cell. That was my dream.
Oh, I hope you've gotten to live that dream several times over.
I can say it wasn't the kind of table I imagined because I always pictured, like how you had your family dinner table, and you were all sitting around it at night.
I have, I have something for you. Um, I know you could probably do something with them. She'll open her swag and she pulls out rib bones, human rib bones,
Like how many ribs?
several. Pretty much the entire rib cage minus the spine.
So it has the sternum attached?
Sure.
You put out these for me? And she kind of almost gets a giddy look on her face.
I, from Aiden's father's killer, we were allowed to take whatever we wanted off the body. Didn't figure I'd let these bones go to waste. I thought maybe you could do something with them.
Oh, well, I can do something right grand with these. I, I can do something right grand indeed with these. Put them back in your swag and we'll go upstairs. I left my swag up there, so it'd look funny for me carrying around a set of ribs.
I, she'll stick them back in her swag. Um, she'll grab the clothes that Alana set for her. She'll go back to Teresa's closet and get one more shirt.
And when they get back upstairs, Alana's gonna go to that little altar she had set up. She's gonna take the candles and the frame off, and she's gonna ask for the. Can I have the rib bones?
And she'll take them out of her swag and hand them to her.
She'll take it and kind of crack it open a bit more, place it on the altar, make sure that the frame sits nice and perfectly, places the candles between some of the ribs. And then she goes over and gets the skull that she was working on and places it kind of right on top of the sternum. From the bones of our enemies, in the name of the fallen, we persevere.
I praise Gaia.
Yeah. I'm hoping Hummingbird, once they've had time to mourn the loss of our alpha, will be forgiven and stay with us. But if not, we'll have to look to a new totem for the pack.
I've thought about that. I'm not sure how an Utena totem would feel about a Fiona Alpha. If Hummingbird doesn't stay, I think that we should go after um, one of the totems of our tribe, maybe one of the Morg.
I can get on board with that. Definitely.
Possibly even Bive herself.
I could see that working. Most definitely.
We need a new name. We need a new name for the pack, even if Hummingbird stays, we're not the Shadowrunners anymore.
A new name for the pack. Alright, we're no longer. What direction are you wanting to take the pack? Are we going to be an aggressive, straight out attack? Are we going to be stealth? Are we going to be defense?
We're Fiona, we're passionate, we're warriors. I still want us to be a war pack. We want to let our enemies know we're coming and instill the fear that they should have in us.
Alright. What about something like become the Spear of Stag?
I don't know that I want stag in the name, or a totem name, or anything like that.
Alright.
I was thinking maybe something like Bringers of the Fury. Something along those lines.
Something like maybe the Spear of Fury. Spear is a very traditional weapon amongst the Fiona.
I we still do have a bonar in our pack.
Aye. Well, Norse know how to use spears. They know how to
I
use most everything, it seems.
yeah, they're pretty resourceful. Almost as good as a glasswalker.
Almost.
The spears of fury.
Spears of Fury. I like it. And she'll
People just call us the spears for short, most likely.
and she's gonna pack link it to Kumba to see if what he thinks. I like it.
And if we keep hummingbird, it still fits with how we strike when we're in the Umbra.
Aye.
We hurtle towards our enemies like a spear. When Kumba confirms, I'll make the howl for the name change. Name you as my beta. That's alright.
Eire. We'll strike our foes with the fury and rage that Gaia has bestowed upon us.
I We take in the fury and rage of our fallen loved ones, comrades. Strike fear into their hearts. Tear their flesh from their bodies. She says that with such conviction that it's almost unnerving. She'll, she'll wrap her arms around Alana.
Lana will hug her back. Let me know when the gathering is.
Oh well,
I'll make sure there's plenty of whiskey.
as painful as it will be, I want to perform it.
Even if her spirits return to the cycle, it's not just for the one that's fallen and left us, for those that remain.
I want everybody to tell their tales, share their stories. Teresa lives on in all of us, even if we can never see her spirit.
Aye. And with the Fiona Galliard, Hail Singer of the Sept,
The
she'll live
Alpha.
on for many, many generations.
I The Shadowrunners will never be forgotten, but the Fury will.
And she'll kind of reach out for that kind of like arm grasp thing.
Yeah, Saoirse will reciprocate and touch her forehead to Alana's.
She'll lean down and touch her forehead to hers. We may be sisters, cousins, or packmates. For as long
We
as you'll
are.
have me.
She'll nod.
So you're like what, 2 weeks away from going for Adrian now?
I am. Would you support me in my challenge for Adrian?
With everything that I am.
I don't know if I'll need your help or not. I'm not sure what Chloe's gonna have planned. I gave her a heads up a while ago that I was gonna challenge her again.
All right.
And then, if I make it to Athro, we're going home one last time. I'm taking the rank from my mother.
As you wish, Raya.
And that'll be the last time we see that place.
I don't know. I was thinking it might be fun to go back as an elder and be like, look, bitches, I'm an elder now.
Elder Metis and Silver Tara, it's unheard of, isn't it?
Aye.
Maybe we will go back and flaunt you as elder.
I'll have a large pack by then. Dozen members. Strongest pack ever.
I collected spears everywhere we go.
Aye. Fears be the stories that drive you forward. Drive you on.
Saoirse will. Alana actually sees her smile is lessened somewhat, and she takes a deep breath. You can act as Alpha finished with the seek of their cabin. After that, I'll perform the rite for my place. Puck.
I look forward to the day you challenge for it. And she gives you a playful wink.
Saoirse will smile.
I haven't decided yet. I'm thinking maybe breed form arm wrestling.
That could be interesting. You'll win. Your breed form is Krynos. It's not a fair fight. It's not a fair contest.
Oh, I suppose. I guess we could go Homid arm wrestling.
I think you're still stronger than me.
Only because I work with metal.
Aye.
And I practice swinging around the sword most days. I mean, look at that practice dummy over there that I have. And you can see the few slashes in the ceiling when I swung too high.
She looks up.
There's like a dozen, maybe 2 dozen slashes in the ceiling. But they all look pretty old.
Looks like you've gotten better. None of those are really fresh.
Aye, amazing what some months and months of practice will do for you.
Aye, that's true.
So I'm
We're
thinking about
smaller.
learning how to use a gun, or maybe teaching Kumba to use a gun. Having Kumba learn to use a gun.
I, if you don't mind, I think I want to give Argyre to Felix.
Alright, as you wish, Raya. Wait, no, I'm the Raya right now, aren't I?
I'm still your Raya. Shush. You're only Alpha because I say you can be. I'm letting you play house. She winks.
Well, in that case, I should dress you up in a frilly little dress. Make you sit down and have tea with a teddy bear and what was that little Mary Allen, whatever doll with the red braid hair?
A Raggedy Ann.
Aye, with a Raggedy Ann and a teddy bear.
I mean, if you want to have a tea party, I suppose we could do that.
But I have to dress you up in a frilly little dress, like one of those little wee lasses.
Are you making fun of my height?
Nera. If I'm playing house, that means you're the doll and I get to dress you up.
She just laughs. Felix, he meant a lot to Teresa and vice versa. They were tribe mates. I know he has to be hurting too. And I know that she would want Argyle to go to him if I didn't want it.
If that is your wish, then I'll respect it.
She'll nod. You can have her katana. You can dual wield.
So you want me to make more cuts in the ceiling? Got it. She kind of stands there, kind of imagining two swords. Means I'm gonna have to practice with my left hand.
I we're smaller. We don't have in a room. Is there anything you can do to help us in combat?
Let's see. Things I can do to help us in combat. There's a few rituals I'm working on. I will see what I can learn and put in place to help us. My skills are mostly to deal with spirits, though. Umbral travel. I can even.
Can't you make
Uh,
fetishes?
I'm working on that. And she'll go and get the torque and show you, and it has this beautifully carved. That story that you told her carved into the braids of the torque.
She'll smile. That is beautiful.
It's a 22 out of 20 success torque.
That's a good job, lass.
Now to go to the land of our ancestors, the dead.
Can I come with you?
Oh, I hope you would.
Of course, I want to visit our homelands.
Aye, the ancestral homelands. We'll go and speak with him proper, like in person. Show him this. I have a few things planned, once a person is attuned, it can never be reattuned to them. Uh, it'll only be worn by Fiona. Should any others use it, he'll instantly be freed. Uh, and we need to make sure, like every month, or at least every year, like on his birthday or his death day, we tell his story. That's things like that I'm thinking of.
She'll nod.
And with that, I should be an even better ritualist. And then I can go about making you maybe a battle torque, perhaps some gloves that'll increase your combat prowess. I use some leather gloves, the fingerless kind though, because that increase your hand-to-hand ability damage potential.
Does that include clothes?
Aye, that's why I would make it fingerless, so your claws can come out and not destroy them,
I
or cover them. If you have it bound to Krynos as well, it would just become studded fur on the backs of your hands. Let's see. I think I'd need the Spirit of Rage. I think that's the ones that teach that gift. I haven't helped somebody speak to the spirit for it in ages. Aye, that should be simple enough. I'll see what else I can do. Definitely need to make us some fetishes though.
perhaps you can Maybe make me something of Teresa's.
You pick the jewelry of hers you like the best, and I'll make you something. Perhaps give it a spirit of comfort.
She'll nod and
Oh, come here. Before I have to ruffle your hair.
she'll hug on to Alana.
And Alana is gonna pick her up and spin her around a few times.
Saoirse's gonna laugh. I don't know what I'd do without you.
Well, you'd be sitting in the seeker's cabin wondering how you're going to come in here and get clothes by yourself. And then you come in and the place would be a mess because Kumbuk would have been through here a few times. And he's been living in a dumpster, so. But you would have had a very different upbringing. You wouldn't have had to worry about the metis in the basement. You might even dislike metis all out straightforwardly.
I don't dislike Metis as a whole, but there are still some that I do not like.
I can relate to that. Alright, get out of here. Don't need you crying all over the shrine that I just made. You're welcome to come by and look at it though whenever you wish. Raya.
Thank you, Five Savior.
Five Savior. I can't believe that happened. I was getting ready to fight a banshee and then I'm like, this woman's just going through labour. Jesus Mary. Mother and Joseph. That's what they used to say when we were wandering through the city back home nearby Sept, right?
I.
Still don't understand. I think it's a somewhat a religious reference.
It is Catholic. Ireland's a very Catholic area.
Hmm. One last thing before you go, since I don't know if they have what you need there, and she'll go over and pour 2 shots of whiskey and hand one to Saoirse.
Saoirse will take it.
To the pack and to those we've lost.
She'll hold out her glass. I. And swig it back. Oh, that's good.
Alright, I can now let you go and not feel bad about it.
All right. I love.
Love you too, cousin. Cousin. That sounds weird.
And I'll see ya.
I'll make sure everything around here stays moving appropriately, like.
Don't forget to come visit me on Sept.
She gives this almost like I'm in charge look. I'll consider it, lass.
She just shakes her head. Whatever. Might howl. Probably sometime later about the name change and when I'm gonna hold Teresa's right.
Alright. I will see you probably later this afternoon. Anything you want me to bring, food wise?
Bacon?
I meant like, how did you want the bacon? Did you want it wrapped around steak? Did you want it in a
Chocolate?
burger? And she goes to the fridge and pulls out the tub of it that she generally keeps made and hands it to her.
She takes it and put it in her swag. This will get me by till I come back home. Provided Aiden doesn't eat it all while I'm sleeping.
We'll leave it in your swag and don't tell him it's there.
True. That's true. All right, I'll go.
Besides, if you tell him a Metis made it, had her hands all over it, he may not want it.
Eh, Aiden has a soft spot for Metis. Don't tell him I told you.
She gives you a, oh, I know, kind of look.
And she'll step sideways and head back to Sep to the cabin in a much better state that she was in when she got.
And Alana will go about cooking more bacon.
And that is where we will end our scene. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. We'll see you next time.